Run it, baby. Ricky Cheese, baby!
Hey guys, it is your boy Ricky Cheese with Grinding for Greatness, the official show of the FloridaWrestlingRoom.com. On today's show, I'll be speaking with former Florida wrestler Mario Del Vecchio. We'll be discussing his move from Florida to New Jersey, how Northern wrestling differs from down south, and how he recently captured the pin record in his new state. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And remember, keep on grinding for greatness. So, I was doing my research, knowing that you were going to come on, and I got to mention this because it's just crazy, man. So as a true eighth grader, I think you were like 14 or 15, whatever, probably 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sixth at the FHSAA state championships as a true eighth grader. And for those out there that are wondering what I mean by true eighth grader, what I mean is kids never been held back. A lot of these eighth graders are really ninth graders. Some are even 10th graders, believe it or not. 16 years old. No, he was a true eighth grader, never held back. So that's incredible. So congrats on that. But what blows my mind even more is, you defeated over 55 state champs, placers, and qualifiers, including 5 state champs, 8 finalists, and 30 placers, all since 2023. Friggin' ridiculous. And then in New Jersey, after you moved, you went 6-0 at the NHSAA National Duels in 2024, and the only, and correct me if I'm wrong, only New Jersey wrestler, all grades and weights, with 0 losses and 0 points surrendered, and the only New Jersey freshman to go undefeated.
Yep.
Just, dude, you gotta, that just blows my mind. Talk to me about the NHSAA duels. How did you go undefeated?
I mean, I thought it was a great experience overall. Coming into it, I just wanted to have like a better than 500 record because I know there's like so many studs that go there and then only win like 1 or 2 matches. But, I came down, was on my best game, and I destroyed everyone.
Yeah. So you go in there, you just want to go 500, you win a couple of matches, you're feeling good. All right, I got 2 wins under my belt. You win number 3, you win number 4. Was there some point where you're like, holy shit, I think I can go undefeated in this thing?
Yeah, at the end of the first day, I was like, you know what, I'm feeling super confident. I think I got it. Because the last kid I beat on the first day a few months before had actually beaten me 4-1, and then I got him again and I beat him 11-0. So I was super happy about that match in particular.
Yeah, I bet you were. That's awesome. How do you go undefeated in a tournament like that? Like, is that something that you're thinking about in each match? Like, I'm not going to give any points, or it just kind of happens?
I mean, like, obviously my goal is to beat people with as much dominance as possible. Like, if I can pin him in 8 seconds, I'll pin him in 8 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's awesome that I didn't allow any points either. Like, I didn't even know that for a while, that I was only an NJ wrestler to not allow any points. I saw it on, like, a Instagram page or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That is absolutely crazy. And then a couple of the toughest duel tournaments in the country, you competed in those. The Columbus Day duels, the elite division, that was in 2023. You went 7-2 there. And then the Waterway duels, 7-1. So pretty good damn success, man. Like, one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, coming from Florida, you wrestled in Florida as an 8th grader, moved up to New Jersey. First thing I want to ask, how'd you feel when you heard that you were going to be moving from Florida to New Jersey?
I mean, I was happy about it. I was all for it, like 100%. I was like, I mean, I love it in Florida, but I was like, I think for my wrestling, it will be best to be in Jersey. Like, there's like the best wrestlers in Florida and any other state for that matter are just as good as the best wrestlers in Jersey. But like New Jersey is like so much deeper. There's like so many like outstanding wrestlers in Jersey. It's crazy. And like PA too, California, maybe even Ohio's close too. But like Jersey, I feel like it's the toughest like state to like win a state title in because there's only one classification. Like, you can take some like basic math here. Jersey has 8 regions. What was I gonna say? And if you're top 3 in the region in Jersey, it's equivalent to being a state placer in Florida because top 8 in 3 classifications is 24, and then top 3 8 regions, 24. So it's about equivalent to being a state placer in Florida, just placing the top 3 in the regions in Jersey. And like even like the districts, it's really impressive to make it out of the districts in Jersey. Like in Florida, it's like almost just like a drop in the bucket that you're going to make it out of the districts. But
That's true.
In Jersey, like the districts is a lot harder. Like if you lose before the semifinals in the districts, you're just out. And in the regions, if you lose before the quarterfinals, you're just out. And only the top 3 make it out of the districts in Jersey. So like I know like a bunch of people that didn't make it out of the districts in Jersey that would make it to the states in Florida. And there's even a few people I can think of that would place in like the top 3 in the state in Florida that didn't make it out of the districts here.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's just like you said, it's so damn deep, man. And I do agree with you on that. You know, I think Florida's elite can hang with New Jersey's elite or California's elite, but just the depth it's so different up there, man. So different. I know you won the East Coast Catholic Classic. I know you won the the NJSIAA Region 3. You took 3rd, but you won District 12, right?
No, I lost in the finals. It was not a good match,
Oh,
but
you didn't. I thought you were the champ, District
no,
12
I
champ.
didn't in districts.
Oh, I looked on track. It said you were champ, unless I read it
Really?
wrong. But yeah, I think. Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. So you took 2nd, you said.
Yeah.
So that qualified you to go to the region,
Mm.
and top 3 go to state.
Yeah.
Nice. How was that? Talk to me about the difference between the Florida State Tournament and the New Jersey State Tournament?
I mean, it like atmosphere wise, it kind of feels similar. Like I kind of like felt like I was like reliving my experience from 8th grade. But
where do they have New Jersey?
Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like the brackets, like even though like more people in each weight class make it to the states in Florida because of the 3 classifications, 48 make it, but in Jersey 32 make it. But it's just one bracket, so like the bracket's gigantic, and like everyone in there is a stud. And they seed like 1 through 32. Like it's not just a 1st in the region gets a 4th in the region, like in Florida. Like everyone gets an individual seed, and you can like even like wrestle the person that you just wrestled in like the 3rd, 4th place match in the first match of the states, which I think is a little silly, but it's whatever. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and that would never happen in Florida because you're in the same region. You're going to be opposite sides of the bracket. Yeah, I do like the seeding. I think Florida needs to be seeded because, as you know from being there, you know, many times, not just sometimes, but many times, you got the 2 best kids meeting in semis. They're on the same side of the bracket, which is absolutely ridiculous. You know, you have a semis match that should be a finals match for sure.
I know. Yeah, I see that a lot in Florida.
It is what it is. So out of all those state champs and state placers you beat, so who are some of those state champs and state finalists that you've beaten?
In the Columbus State duels, I beat Kai Plinsky, West Virginia state champ 9-0. He's a total stud. All these wrestlers are total studs, and I have a ton of respect for all of them. You know, obviously being a state champ or state finalist in any state, you got to be an outstanding wrestler. But Kai Plinsky, he was also undefeated in the NHSCA duels. Lincoln Kelly, Virginia state champ, who also placed in the NHSCA individual tournament. Parker Withers, I just beat this kid like last weekend. He was another Virginia state champ. Malachi Ortiz, Florida state champ. I tech falled him. Like, what was it? In the big man duels. I think it was like last July or something like that.
Okay.
And Duncan Harrington, Vermont state champ. I wrestled him. When was it? It was in April at the Spartan duels in Vermont. Those are 5 state champs I beat. And then I beat like 8 other state finalists. Gian Ortiz from Florida, I beat him in the States in my 8th grade year.
First match.
Nathaniel Overman, I also beat him in the big man duels.
That's a kid from Bloomingdale, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
that
kid.
gigantic 106.
Huge
I know.
106, man.
Yeah,
he actually should have been a state champ. I think I never should have went into overtime. I think he got a little hosed in that, but whatever. So yeah, I didn't realize you beat Overman.
Yeah.
What was the score of that match?
Oh, I pinned him.
Wait, let me guess. Cradle?
Of course.
The fatal cradle, man. We'll get into that in a minute. Let me ask you this, dude. Going back to Florida wrestling, who would you say are the absolute best wrestlers in Florida right now?
Sebastian DeGennaro, Michael Mako, Sawyer Bartelt, he just graduated.
Yep.
Kendrick Hodge, Maximus Brady, EJ Solis. I'll throw Giovanni Solis in there too. I'd like to get that match.
You want that match?
Yeah.
Why do you want that match?
I mean, I think it'd be a really good match. I feel confident in it, but I'd say it's probably close to a 50-50, somewhere around there.
With all those accolades he's had, I mean, obviously you have the accolades as well. He's a state champ, multiple time state champ, right?
Yeah, I think he's the best Florida wrestler of my age.
Yeah, he does international freestyle Greco. Where does his confidence come from? Why do you feel, give me more specifics. Why do you feel it would be a 50-50 on that match? You just think your styles match up? Like, help me out with this.
I mean, like, I watch like a lot of wrestlers. I like study like everyone that I'm wrestling. I've watched his matches. I feel like styles wise, I feel like we line up well. I think it'd be a good match. I feel very confident though.
Can that match happen? Like, would you meet up? Where is there anywhere that you guys can meet up?
Maybe in a national tournament somewhere. I'm definitely doing a few national tournaments soon. Yeah. Also, like being the NJ state pin leader gives me a lot of confidence, like in pretty much every match.
That was something I was going to bring up a little later, but being that it brought up now, let's talk about that. The New Jersey pin leader, and it doesn't matter what grade, that's for all grades, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. How many pins?
35 out of my 39 wins.
That's just fucking dominance, man. You remind me of Gene Mills. Gene Mills was the greatest pinner in United States history, wrestled for Syracuse. I believe he was a 2-time NCAA champ, was on the 80 Olympic team, but that's the year we didn't go because we boycotted. The president wouldn't let Jimmy Carter wouldn't let us go. But anyways, he was just dominant. He just wanted to pin everybody. 35 out of, it's mind blowing, man. It's hard for me to comprehend that. How does that happen?
I mean, like going into the season, that wasn't even like on my radar being the state pin leader. I mean, like I knew like since my 8th grade season that I'm like a good pinner, but like I didn't know like that was coming. Like I saw it in like the middle of the season. I was like, wait a second, I'm first in the state in pins. I was like, all right, I want to keep this way for the whole season, and I was able to do it, which made me very happy.
Yeah, I'm sure you were very, very happy. Now, most of your pins, if not all of them, you're cradling people. The old fatal cradle, that's your bread and butter. Everyone knows it's coming. They can't stop it. Yep. Why can't they stop it? I have my thoughts on it, but I want to hear what you say first, and then I'll tell you why I think.
I mean, like I've been practicing it for years. I think it comes from like a combination of my strength, like frame, like I'm pretty tall and long for my weight class, so that helps. And I'm just very persistent with it. Like I go for it like the entire time, and like almost always I eventually get it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think one of the big reasons is your strength. I've said this before to other people. You're probably the strongest lightweight that I've ever seen, and I've been around this sport for a really long time, and I'm not just saying that. I do mean it. I've personally witnessed you bench 225 for 10 reps, and I've seen them. They were real reps. They weren't bullshit. They were down and all the way up, locking them out. 140 pounds you were, or less, when you were doing that?
Yeah, around there, 140 about.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's just very, very strong. Maybe one of the strongest lightweights in the country. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but is that a record? Like that many times? That many
on
reps?
AAU, it lists it as a record, but okay. I don't know. I know there's other like people that count records out there, so maybe there's someone else. So I'll just put myself in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So there was a 3-time state champ in Florida who recently just lost to a freshman from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Who was that?
This kid, Tanner Hodgins, who was 6th in the state. He beat Kendrick Hodge in the Beast of the East. I think the score was like 5-1 or something. I think that's like crazy that like I mean, Kendrick Hodge, he's obviously an outstanding wrestler. I know he's going to be a great college wrestler, but like a freshman from New Jersey that was only sixth in the state can like do that. Like that just like shows like the depth.
It really, really does. And again, nothing against Kendrick Hodge. Probably one of the top guys right now coming out of Florida. He's going D1. I think he's going to Campbell.
Yeah, I was just there at a camp.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it was a great experience. I loved it.
I was just speaking with Scotty sent this today. I had him on an episode of The Morning Grind. So the name of this podcast is Grinding for Greatness, but every Sunday morning we have a segment called The Morning Grind. Scotty was on, super guy.
Yeah, he's a great coach.
Any shot at, or maybe you can't say, but any shot at a guy like Scotty getting Mario Del Vecchio, or have you not given it much thought yet? I know you got, 3 years left?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely considering it.
Okay.
It's definitely my goal to go D1, and Campbell seems like a great college.
How was the campus? Did you get a chance to see that yet or not really?
Yeah, we took a tour around the campus. I liked it. It was really nice. Everything with the camp was great.
Yeah. So a couple of things I want to talk to you about. The difference between, I know the whole depth thing, but talk to me about like just the difference in the wrestling as far as the way things are done in New Jersey compared to the way they are in Florida.
So like the systems are like
the system
a bit different. Like in Jersey, it's mostly like dual meets, tri meets, quads, and we'll have like you can have up to 4 weigh-ins in the week, but you can only have like one tournament. Like as opposed to in Florida where there's like tournaments every single weekend. Most teams only have like 2 to 4 IBTs a year. There's really no like dual tournaments in Jersey. Also like the season like starts. Well, this year started 2 weeks later. Next year starting only 1 week later. So that's a little different. And also we have a 30 match cutoff where by a certain date in February, you can only have 30 matches by it. As opposed to in Florida where like there's like no match cutoff and like some teams have like over like 80 matches. Like on the one hand, I'd like to have like more matches, but on the other hand, I like the cutoff because it makes like the records more legit because everybody has around the same amount of matches.
Yeah.
But I just wish it was like a 40 match cutoff instead as opposed to 30.
Gotcha. What was the transition like going from Florida high school to a New Jersey high school? Like the difference between the kids? Did you have to make adjustments? Like, did you have to act a little? Like, in Florida, I know kids are into so many different, you got the beach, you got, whatever. How was the transition for you? What were the main differences?
I mean, honestly, it was pretty similar to me, like overall. It might be because like I was born in New Jersey and I lived there for a while, but I didn't notice too much of a difference. But like there isn't like as many people like into like fishing or hunting or going to the beach or anything like that.
Yeah. How important is it for off-season wrestling tournaments? I know you do a ton of off-season tournaments and ridiculous off-season record as well. How important is that to you, and how important should it be to other wrestlers?
I think it's super important. Like if you don't have like good mat experience, like in the off season, you're not going to be as prepared for in the season. You're not going to be as confident. I definitely feel like doing off season tournaments like really boosts my confidence. So I do a lot of them. Like I've already had 32 matches this off season.
That's crazy.
I wrestle like almost every week, and I definitely think practicing a ton in the off season is super important. Like I practice like 5-6 times a week, all year round. I mean, I love it though. I know some people don't. But I definitely think like if you want to be the best wrestler you possibly can, you got to wrestle a ton in the off season. You can't just be like an in-season wrestler. Like you'll never reach the top level if you're just an in-season wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're 100% right. One of the things that I noticed with you, and you can fill me in on this after I ask you, but a lot of kids, they'll run from the competition. They won't go to the off-season tournaments because there's going to be a stud there, or they'll go a different weight class. But you go after those top kids. You want them. I mean, you want that soulless match where most people would be like, fuck, I don't want soulless. You want that. Why? Like, what's that mindset?
I mean, I just think like to get better, you got to wrestle like the best people. And also like since I have such like great confidence, I'm usually going in there thinking that I'm going to win. And like I just like love the feeling of getting a win over like a stud. Being like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm like that good, and I'm like that good. Like this person's so good, and I just beat them. Like that's like really exhilarating to me.
So, you know, you wrestle for your dad. Your dad coached you. A lot of kids can't do that. You know, my kid couldn't do that. I had to turn him over to somebody else. We just, it just didn't work. Do you like wrestling for your dad? I mean, how,
I
obviously
love it.
obviously it's working.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, he's like my main motivation to wrestling. Like he got me into it. He's always motivating me. He's always inspiring me. He's always coming up with ideas for what I can do. He's always like bringing me to practice. He never has an issue with bringing me to practice. Like whenever I want to like do a tournament, a practice, he always brings me. He always motivates me. Like sometimes I'm upset after I lost, and then he talks to me for a little bit, and then I can just like get right back into it. I love that my dad's super involved in my wrestling.
The one thing that I noticed, and I love your dad for this, one of the first things I noticed was whether it's a win or a loss, he always gives you a hug after the match.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so friggin' awesome and special because you don't see that all the time, you know?
Yeah.
You'll see a dad, you know, throw the t-shirt in the kid's face and, hey, you push it, you shouldn't lie. I never saw that happen. I mean, perhaps it has, but I never witnessed it.
No, it never happened.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, and it's got to make the father-son bond and relationship that much better and stronger, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I love like my dad being my coach. I love doing everything with the wrestling with him. It really strengthens our bond, and it's very important to me.
Honestly, answer this honestly. Do you feel pressure wrestling for your dad? Like, do you want to win more, or do you feel like, oh man, I don't want to lose. I don't want to let him down, or do you know I won't be letting him down if I do my best? Like, what goes through your head with that?
Yeah, I know. Like, as long as I like put my best effort, my dad will always be happy with me. He just tells me that he wants me to go out there and try my best, and he doesn't care if I win or lose.
Exactly.
Obviously, he wants me to win though.
Yeah, of course, that's the goal. Oh man, goals for the next 3 years. You got sophomore year, junior year, and senior year coming up. What are the short-term goals? What are the long-term goals?
I mean, like for the rest of this offseason, I obviously very short term goal. I want to like get better. That's my main goal. And also like I want to go out there, and win as many tough matches as I can and have like the best possible record. So I'm most prepared going into the season. Then in the season, I definitely want to get on the podium this year. That was sort of a goal I had last year, and I wasn't able to achieve it, but it's all right. Next year, I definitely want to get on the podium. Obviously, I want to lead the state in pins again, and I want to like be as high up there in like wins, winning percentage, stuff like that. Then after the season, I want to go down to the NHSCAs. I want to place in that. Want to do the same thing I did in the duels this year. Off season, same thing. And then like junior and senior year going forward, I want to be a state champ by some point in my career. That's definitely a big goal of mine. I also want to be like the all-time pin leader for Jersey. I think I can achieve that since I led the state in pins as a freshman. I don't think anybody else has ever done that.
You know, and now that you just said that, Gene Mills is from New Jersey. He wrestled. I'm gonna have to look at what his pin record was in New Jersey. I don't know if he became a pinner in college or if he started that in high school. But yeah, Gene Mills wrestled high school in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
I thought it was New York,
that.
but it was New Jersey. Yeah, you'll have to look that up. Gene Mills, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That just came to my head when you said that.
Oh, it's okay. And ultimately, I want to wrestle in college. D1 is the goal. And I just want to be the best wrestler that I possibly can, achieve the most accolades as I possibly can.
What's the goal for after college when the wrestling's done and there's no more wrestling? Do you know what you want to do for a living at this point or not really?
I want to be a lawyer. I want to go to law school after. My dad really inspired me in that way. I just feel like lawyers, they make a lot of money and they're very powerful people. And most of them are also really smart too. So I think it's a good career path for me overall.
Do you know what kind of law you want to practice, or you haven't thought about that yet?
Probably criminal law.
Okay. Always a good thing. There's plenty of criminals out there, right?
Yeah.
Plenty of criminals. You'll definitely have job security for sure. All right, so back to the wrestling. Toughest Florida match you've ever wrestled? Toughest New Jersey match you've ever wrestled?
Toughest Florida match that I ever wrestled, I'd have to say it was my first match in the States last year against Gian Ortiz. I mean, I was down 8-0 at the end of the first period, going into the second period. Like, on the one hand, I was like, oh man, maybe I'm not going to win this one. But then on the other hand, I was like, you know what? I'm a stud. I know I can always like come back. If I get on top, I feel like I can win any match. And then that's what I did. So I would say that was my toughest Florida match. And toughest Jersey match. Oh, that's a tough one. Probably my finals match at the East Coast Catholic Classic. I was wrestling this dude. I don't know how this kid was 126. He was gigantic. He looked like he was like 150. And he's a senior, probably like a 2-time holdback. He had like a full beard. He looked like a caveman. The ref asked him before the match. He was like, "Are you like 25?" And I never really have like crazy high scoring matches, but I won this one 14-13. Like it was like really like back and forth. But like when I got on top, I just like cradled him up a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I thought I had him pinned, but whatever, the refs didn't call it. I have to say that was my toughest match in Jersey.
And what was your greatest moment in New Jersey and your greatest moment in Florida?
I would say in Jersey, my greatest moment was leading the state in pins. I mean, like, I feel like that's like such an outstanding accomplishment. Like when I first heard of like New Jersey State pin leader, I thought like that has to be like the most amazing wrestler in the world. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. But the fact that I accomplished that as just a freshman is like awesome to me. And then in Florida, I'd probably have to say it was winning the regions. Because after I won that match, like I didn't feel like it was like real for a little bit. I was just like, I don't know, I just felt like off in like another universe. I was like, wow, did that really just happen? So
well, it happened. And then you could have gotten probably the worst draw in the history of the state tournament, and I'm going to tell the listeners why. So in the state of Florida, if you win your region, so there's 4 regions, 4 guys qualify from each region, so you got a 16-man bracket at the state championships. If you win your region, you're going to wrestle a guy who took 4th in another region. Usually that's a great thing. You're going to wrestle a kid that just barely made it to the state tournament, right? Yeah, but in Mario's case, he won his region, so he's going to wrestle the number 4 from another region, except that number 4 was the number 1 ranked kid in the state. And the reason that he was number 4 is because he got injured and he forfeited to 4th, didn't want to hurt himself anymore, figured it doesn't matter, I'm just going to win anyways. Let me take 4th and just advance so I don't, do more damage to my knees. And that was the kid you got, but it did work out for you. But that was a crazy, crazy match, man. I remember it 8-0. I'm like, oh man, this is. And I talked to your dad before that match, and probably not even at the state championship, probably a few days before. I was like, man, what a shitty draw that is. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and whatever happens. I know Gian was told, watch out for the cradle. Watch out.
Yeah, you're saying it right before I got on top.
Yeah, and he did a great job. He
was doing well.
Did a great job. But in that second or third period, whenever it was, you were able to lock it up, man, and that was it. That's all she wrote. Then he did come back and he wound up getting 3rd, which is a true kind of a champion.
Yeah, that was a great job by him. I was super impressed with that.
Yeah, I was so happy because to see both of you guys, who I was very fond of both of you, to see you both up on the podium, that was just awesome to me because you both deserve to be there, and it doesn't always work out that way, but it did for you guys. Who was the state champ that year in your weight class?
It was Giovanni Solis.
Oh, Giovanni, yeah. And who did he beat in the finals?
Derek Williams.
Oh, Williams, that's right.
From the Panhandle.
Yep, and that's the kid that won it this year against Gian.
Yeah.
That man, I'm not even going to talk about that because I'll get myself in trouble. But not one of Gian's finest, but I think that he could have won that match, but it doesn't matter. Gian's going to be wrestling at what the hell? Roanoke College in Virginia.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's going D3. I think he should do well, but
he'll do well.
So do you have any colleges? What are there any that are like front runners right now that you would like to go to, or are you just going to see what happens in a few years?
Kind of both. Like
Ivy League, maybe.
I did a camp at UPenn. It was great. Maybe Ivy League. Also, like I really had a great experience at Campbell both times I went. And Ohio State invited me to a prospects camp like last September. I also had a great experience there. But like as long as I go D1, I'll be super happy.
Yeah.
So all of them are pretty much options to me.
What about you got like right there, Rutgers?
Yeah, Rutgers looks like a good school. I might do a camp that they have at the end of July. It's not like
Did
an
your
official
parents go to
Rutgers.
Rutgers?
What?
Did your parents go to
Yeah,
Rutgers?
they both went to
That's
Rutgers.
what I thought. Yeah, yeah. So that'd be kind of cool going where your parents went.
Yeah.
And if it was an Ivy League, do you know like which Ivy League would you be leaning towards? What about Cornell? They got a great program.
Yeah, Cornell has a great program. They're getting a lot of kids from Jersey that are studs.
Yeah.
It looks like a good college, of course. And also, like, I liked UPenn when I went there. I'd say those are my two favorite Ivy League ones.
Yeah. What about the grades? Your grades got to be good, right?
Oh, yeah, my grades are good. I was first honors every marking period this year.
Nice.
All A's, maybe like 1 or 2 B's. Maybe
Okay.
all A's. I'm not fully sure.
And so you still haven't, I mean, it's probably too early. You didn't take the SATs or ACTs yet, right?
I took a PSAT, but
Okay.
not the
Kind of like, what
AS.
is that, like a little practice, like a prep?
Yeah,
type
it's
thing?
pretty much like a practice SAT. I did well with it.
Okay. And what's the plans moving forward? You're going to go to the Super 32? You're going to go to the, what's the one in Michigan, the Grappler Fall Classic? Do you have plans to go to any of those?
So I'm gonna do Bison this weekend in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the duels or individual or both. Then I'm gonna wrestle for my club team Olympic at the New Way Nationals in Atlantic City in
Okay.
like 2 weeks. Then after that, I'm probably gonna do either the Pennsylvania and or the New Jersey Super 32 qualifier. Then I'm gonna do the Waterway duels again, and I'm gonna do the Columbus Day duels again as well. Then after that, I'm definitely either gonna do the Grappler or the Brian Keck.
Yeah, both very, very tough. Grapplers.
And
Grappler's a bitch of a tournament.
maybe Super 32 as well.
Super 32, man. That ain't no joke, man. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
I've
Tournament's
seen
crazy.
it really is, man. I mean, in your second, third match, really your first match, you can come up against a multiple time state champ.
Yeah,
It-
like there's like so many like studs in there that even like there's like kids like ranked in like the top 5 in the country that don't even place in there.
Exactly. It's just nuts, man. So, are you liking Jersey as a state? Do you like living there? Or
Yeah,
would you rather
I
be
love
back
it
in
here. I
Florida?
mean, I kind of like them both equally for different reasons. Like
Yeah.
Florida, it's got like better weather. Florida's obviously really nice, beaches everywhere. But I love it here in Jersey too. Like I got like most of my family lives here, and also like the food's like amazing here. Like
You
so
know,
much good like pizza, bagels.
oh yeah, man. The bagel. Oh, let's talk about food, man. Jersey has by far the best diners in the
Oh,
world,
definitely.
man.
Yeah,
What was the one I met you guys at?
it was in Randolph, right?
Randolph. Yeah. Was it called the Randolph Diner? It might have been.
Maybe.
That place, man. It's like a friggin' like a banquet hall. They had an upstairs. And
Yeah, I know
downstairs.
that place was really nice.
We were there for a few days, and every single day we ate there because it was just awesome. And then, of course, I had to get a bagel with pork roll or Taylor ham. What do they call it in New Jersey?
Well, in North Jersey it's Taylor ham, South Jersey it's pork roll.
There's like a whole debate going on about.
I know, yeah, it's funny.
But delicious, man. Yeah, definitely got
Yeah.
good food. Blair, man, Blair's like the top team there, right, in New Jersey.
Yeah, it's like the best team overall in New Jersey, but they're not in the state series
Right.
or national preps.
Yeah,
In state series, it'd probably be Del Barton as the best team.
where the
St.
Grays
Joe's
went.
is what?
That's where the Grays went. The coach at Cornell, Mike Gray, went to Del Barton.
Yeah, I think he's there.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Yep.
have like Del Barton's like a pipeline to Cornell. Like most of their kids are like going there.
Yep. What about Bethlehem Catholic? Are they still one of the top teams?
They're like just over the border in PA.
Oh, not
They're
Bethlehem Catholic. No, I'm talking about
Bergen Catholic.
Bergen Catholic. Yes.
Yeah, they're still a good team. This year was like not as good for them, but next year they've brought in like a bunch of kids. They've got a few transfers. They have a good like class coming up, so
Okay.
I think they'll be better this year. But yeah, they're still a great team.
Have you had any of those teams reach out to you to try to get you to go over there, or what?
Yeah, a few of them have reached out to me.
Stay public, man. Stay public. Stay small. Stay public. That's the way I say.
Yeah.
So out of all those pins that you had a bunch that were under 60 seconds, a bunch under 30 seconds.
Mm.
That's just crazy, man. And that's all cradles, right?
Mostly, almost all of them.
Yeah.
Even in like the regions, I was one of 3 people to have 4 pins in the regions, like across the entire state. And also I was second in most pins least time in the regions.
Crazy.
And that's like awesome to me because like that's where like all the best wrestlers in the state are wrestling in the regions.
Right.
And, like I still came out in like the top 3 in the pins.
That's nuts, man. Do you have like newspapers reaching out to you to like
a
write
few
articles?
newspapers like what is it called? The Star Ledger, they wrote an article about me leading the state in pins.
Very cool.
I know like NorthJersey.com wrote an article about me, South Bergenite. So yeah, I've had like a bunch of like newspapers about me.
So you're in North Jersey.
Yeah, North Jersey, Bergen County.
Okay. Yeah, Bergen's tough, man. That's like a tough area of
county
Jersey.
in the country.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, like because all of like St. Joe's, Bergen Catholic, Paramus Catholic, Don Bosco are in there. And then there's like a bunch of like really good public schools that are in Bergen County as well.
So there's no Flowers wrestling in that tournament.
No.
Don't be a flower. Talk to me about your rules for men, man. What's up? That's some funny shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing them. Like, it's
so
just like
funny.
me talking about like things that I agree with, and like I make them like funny sometimes.
Yeah.
I just have a great time doing them.
It's fun, man. You got to keep it light. The life can't be serious all the time. So when I see on Instagram your rules for men, it cracks me up, man.
I love doing it.
Give us a couple of your rules for men.
Well, rule number 10, believe in God, know that God exists. Rule number 9, eat and eat well. Rule number 1, lift weights and look great. Rule number 4, be loyal to your friends and family. That's a few of them off the top of my head.
And where do you come up with the whole don't be a flower? What's a flower?
Flower is just like usually a man who's like weak and not strong and doesn't follow my rules.
Like a limp piece of bacon. That's a flower.
Yeah.
Man, that's some funny shit, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Anything else you want to put out there before we sign off?
I mean, there's like a bunch of people in wrestling that really inspire me.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, my dad, number 1. But other people in wrestling that are like great people and that have had great successes. I'm not just saying this because I'm on your podcast, but you like.
Oh, thank you.
Seeing like how much passion you have for your son's wrestling and how much passion you have for wrestling in general, like all the countless hours you put into the Facebook page and the website, like doing the rankings and everything is awesome, in my opinion.
I appreciate that very much. That means a lot.
My head coach at my main wrestling club here in New Jersey, Florian Guinea, he came over here from Romania, like right when communism was ending.
Yeah.
He was a Romanian national champ. He was like a 3-time D3 national champ, but he won the Midlands, so he beat like a bunch of the best D1 guys.
Oh, yeah.
Ken DeStephanis, he's the other Kenny D other than my dad.
Love Ken DeStephanis. Love him.
Yeah. He was a great college wrestler. He had like a 67-5 record, something like that. But then he became one of the best D1 coaches. Like he turned Central Connecticut University into D1 school. Great successes there. And then he founded Competitive Edge, which is like at all the tournaments. Great close. And then also 2 of my coaches in Florida, Chris Kelly, my coach at Cocoa Beach, Rick Marabell, my coach at St. John's Wrestling Academy, were great as well.
Absolutely, man. The term "it takes a village" definitely applies. You've had so many great people helping you out. Obviously, your dad leading the charge, but yeah, man, you're a very fortunate guy. I'm really happy that I got to know you and become friends with your dad. And man, I'm rooting for you every time.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
really
man. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna keep following you, and we'll get you on the show again after you win that New Jersey State title.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, you have a great night, Mario, and
You
we'll
too.
definitely talk to you soon. Hey guys, Ricky Cheese here. Thanks for listening to the show. Remember, you can watch Grinding for Greatness on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the GFG YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment on your favorite episode and who you'd like to see next on the show. I'll see y'all soon on the next episode of Grinding for Greatness.